Joining me to discuss the impact of a potential government shutdown and the economy on the economy is managing partner of Chapwood Investments, my friend Ed Butowsky. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. This is an interesting conversation to have today.
Well, 2.9%, that's not raging, spiraling out of control inflation. I mean, by comparison to where we were under Biden, I would say, look, it's not great, but it's certainly way down. And I've been saying on this program, on my radio program, for the meeting of the Democrats, we only hear about the stock market under Trump when it's down. We don't hear about when it's up. We hear about home prices when they're up, except right now they're at a 3-year home sales are at a 3-year high, up 20%. The S&P 500 was up before the weekend, record points. A government shutdown doesn't mean the whole government comes to a screeching halt, and Democrats ought to be careful because that would give the president unilateral spending and allocation power. They should just stop it with hanging on to the health care for illegals. I did this whole thing in my argument that for a while there, Democrats were against health care for illegals, but this is what they're hinging the whole thing on.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane what the position that the Democrats are taking. And you have to remember also that inflation is the rate of change. So, the prices under Biden are still the prices that we see today. So we're not seeing any reduction in prices. It's the rate of change that has changed. So we had a rate of change of 9% under Biden. Now it's 2.9%, which to me, is a wonderful thing that the rate of change has come down so much. But when you look at the healthcare argument, that's just a ridiculous empty suit that the Democrats are throwing out there because they really don't have anything else to run on or talk about. So they're trying to find anything they can. And if you ask most Americans, they probably don't care that much about illegal immigrants getting health care.
Well, there's a difference between, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, between currency inflation, that's when the government prints more money and puts it into the economy, and price inflation. So if there's a war in Ukraine and Russia and Ukraine, two large-scale providers of fertilizer, are in the middle of a war and there's a lack of supply, then in order to get it, the price is going to go up because there's a lower supply. But that's not currency inflation, which is only created by government and the printing press.
Yes, you have currency inflation, which is the cost of the value of the dollar going up or the value of the dollar going down. Right now, you have the value of the dollar going down, but there's other reasons for that. It's not just the printing of money. There's many other reasons that we're seeing the value of the dollar going down.
Yeah, but we're both students of Milton Friedman. Currency inflation only comes from one place because you and I don't control the printing press, right? We don't control monetary policy. We can't add cash into the economy. Only the government can.
Well, that's very true. I mean, I wish Milton Friedman was around today. He would be lazy based on some of the stuff that's going on today. But I definitely believe that we have a situation where printing of money is not creating the inflation. It is we actually have an economy that's growing slower than the inflation rate. Normally, you have the economy growing at about the inflation rate, which offsets the negative impact of the inflation. But you don't have that today.
Talk to me about the markets, though. They've been up, they've been down. They've actually been pretty good. Well, they were last week. I didn't actually check many of the numbers today. But the Democrats keep saying the rich guy on Wall, those people are going to be just fine. It's trying to message this for 26. That's not going to work. I mean, but how does this impact the markets and, let's say, your clients?
Sure. It does not impact them at all. If you look at 2018, 2019, there was 35 days that the market shut or that the government shut down and the stock market went up 10%. If you look back historically, you would see that the government shutdown has no impact on the stock market. It doesn't matter if you're a rich person or if you're a person just with a 401k plan at your employer, you're going to be absolutely fine. There's not going to be a major impact to the value of your stocks or bonds.
So there's not going to be some kind of major sell-off or something. I mean, maybe some sell-off of government-related stocks like Boeing or something. If they're not, I don't even know. I mean, you tell me.
Yeah, the defense contractors get their money in big chunks. So same thing with healthcare providers. So defense and healthcare are ones that are tied to the government more so than anything else. But they're also a small fraction of the S&P. If you really study the S&P, you'll see that they don't represent a huge portion of the earnings. So government shutdown will have very, very little impact at all. The only thing that's going to be impacted is the data recovery, meaning the data that you get for GDP numbers and employment numbers. Those are going to be slower to come out. But nobody should worry about a government shutdown affecting their 401ks or their stock prices.
Yeah, but look, they try to make people panic. We know that a government shutdown doesn't mean the entire government comes to a screeching halt. It means for the most part, you might wait a few extra days if you're a government worker to get paid, and you can't go get a snow globe at one of the gift shops around Washington, D.C. at the memorials and monuments. But they make this, first of all, government workers get all their money, and sometimes they even get more on top of that. Retirees will still get their Social Security checks. In the end, the military will still get paid in the end. But the way the Democrats portray is that everything comes to a screeching halt and we're all going to be starving and out on the street.
Yeah, that's inside the Beltway. And that's the way they see things. And they have just visions that are just inside the Beltway. But the rest of the world is what's at stake here. And there's not going to be any major impact at all. I want everyone to know, don't make any adjustments to your retirement plan or to anything in your portfolio as a result of a government shutdown. It's going to be a non-event. And
that's the Democrats want panic in the markets. That's what they want. They want to be able to say, see, look at the panic in the markets. This is Republicans doing this. But you're saying there should be no panic. Don't panic. Don't go out there and do something rash because you're watching CNN.
Completely. And don't watch CNN.
Yes, watch more of the Salem News Channel. I agree with you, but again, investors should hold, is what you're saying.
Yes, and you should, if anything goes down, take it as a buying opportunity. But nothing should go down as a result of the government shutdown, because there's a lot of smart people out there that are sitting there really analyzing exactly what the implications are for a government shutdown, and there really isn't any. If Boeing is your only holding, you might see a little bit of a pullback on Boeing. But look historically, and you'll see that over the 35 years of the last number of shutdowns, there has been absolutely no degression. That's not even a word. No regression on stock prices. In fact, stock prices have gone up 0.3% during these government shutdowns.
And if it goes down a bit, it'll come right back. All right, I got to leave it there. Ed Butowsky, managing partner at Chapwood Investments. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you.